Our lockdown, things that the person's typically going to do to try to stop what we're trying to get, right? So we're going to start the same way. I'm going to go here, get my underhooks. I'm going to elevate it, get to my lockdown. Now, when I come into this, as I'm coming down, I'm keeping my head tight to his hip, right? If I'm back here like this, he's going to cross face me right here and flatten me out, all right? And now I just lost everything I had. So when I get him elevated, I'm bringing this leg up so that my head is next to his hip. So when I land, I'm here. Now he can't cross face me. All right? So now his options are he can sprawl this leg to kill my grip, and that's the first thing he'll try to do. So when he does that, when he does this, I'm just gonna reach up and connect my hands right here at his lower ribs. I'm looking for that soft spot right underneath his rib cage. From here, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to unlock my lockdown, I'm going to turn, putting my head to the mat, my shoulder to the mat. This allows me to come up, and I'm here. If he doesn't get a whizzer, I'm on his back. He's most likely going to whizzer. So we're here, so we're going to hit what's called the boa sweep. So I pull in on this, and I take him to this corner. We pass around. Right? So again, we're here, my double unders, elevate, into my lockdown, I'm nice and tight, he sprawls. So I just reach up and connect my hands, right? I unlock the lockdown, head to the mat, allows me to come up to my knees. I pull, and then come around, right? Let's do it, 3, 2, 1. So I'm just getting him, because if I just start to try to dig, he's just going to push into me, right? So he can just push me forward and get me to my back right now, right? So that's why I'm going here, and now I have a wedge, right? And now I can come up here. Okay, here, right? So it's just getting me into a spot where he can't just push me straight back as I dig my underhook. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. What was the other one?
On the bow, or whenever you are rotating around them, are you stapling your side leg for this?
I'm not too worried about the staple. The biggest thing once we get there, dolphin, and I come up and I'm here, is I want to make sure that my line of drive is that way. So when I go to drive, I step right here so that when I push, I'm driving this way. Okay.
So, that initial phase on the sweep, is that something you really want to you just want to time it to get him to get him the post, or you want to force it to get him to bite harder? Is that a timing thing, or just?
Oh, on the initial?
Yeah.
So, well, a lot of times it's one of those things, right? If I get to my cocoon, my initial is I'm going to try to go this way, right? But if you're leaning hard the other way, so I can't do that, then I'll take you that way.
Oh, okay.
You're lifting that elbow?
Yeah. Yeah, my overhook elbow, I'll lift and get him to post, right? And then now I can swim under if I want to go underhook and play, right? This also sets up my rubber guard entries, right? So, yeah, so I'm just playing that back and forth. If he lets me take him to the overhook side, I'll just sweep him. But to stop me from doing that, he'll shift all his weight to the other side. So then I just take him that way and get him to post, and then I air tap whatever from there, right? Cool. We're gonna do the same entry into our lockdown. This time I mess up, I don't get tight enough to his hip with my head. He's able to start cross-facing me and bringing me back, right? So we get here, I start all this, and I leave too much space and gets his arm in. So once he's here, he's going to start trying to flatten me out with that, you know, so start using the crosser. Yes, right, he's going to start going flat and getting me flat to my back again, right? So from here, I'm going to make a switch. I'm going to bring him down, and I'm going to go super stomp, right? So I just extended him to make sure he's down low so he can't get a lot of pressure on this cross face. And then I'm going to make my switch. From here, I'm coming up and controlling the arm. All right, so I'm here. My right elbow is pointing straight to the ceiling. My left hand is coming right across his chest. So I'm here. I'm trying to bring my left elbow down towards my hip and my right elbow up, right? Because now try to get your arm back. Right? And if I'm just a little bit off, you can pull it right out.
Wow.
Right? So it has to be here.
Oh.
Right? So I'm like this. Once I get to this spot, my right foot's gonna come off. I'm gonna lift with my left foot and my left elbow. And bring it over. Alright? So again, we got to our double unders. You get to my lockdown, he catches that cross face on me, right? So I'm gonna extend him down so I can get this hand in and bring this up. And then I make my switch to my super stomp. Alright? And make sure here, like top person, work to get your arm out. See if they have it locked properly. Right? It should be really hard to get back out. Right? My leg comes off. You sweep them over.
I would really say it's easier to sweep them over than trying to get the hand, the arm up loose. Because now they focus all on that one arm, you know what I mean?
Say it again.
So they focus on getting the arm out. Would that be easier to get it swept over?
Yeah, but the battle is like if he can slip it out, then he's gonna posture up and he's gone, right? So I just want to make sure it's good and locked, and then when he stops struggling and he's constantly fighting, then I can hit the sweep. Right?
So you don't want to sweep them the other way? I felt like in that position, you were going to go the opposite way.
But I don't have your other arm, so you can post.
Oh, maybe that's the way I wanted you to go. Okay, gotcha.
Right? It's just this, whatever arm I have my shoulder crunch on is the arm the post I took away, so I have to sweep you to that side.
Okay.
Right? Make sense? And then my foot is under you on this side, so it's going to lift you the other way too. Right? I can't really lift you that way with this foot.
Right, okay. That makes sense.
Alright.
When they flat on you, are you also extending your legs out, or are you kind of pulling?
No, I'm extending him down to negate the power of his cross face and to make it easier to get the super stomp.
Okay.
Right? That's the one time when I will use my lockdown just to extend.
Okay.
Right? But realize when I use my lockdown to extend, if I don't make a switch there, I'm stuck there. I'm not doing anything but holding it. Right? I can't whip him. I can't do any of that with my legs straight out.
So you went over the arm, across the shoulder.
Whether you want to see it now?
No, I'm good.
So, yep. And then when I go to sweep, my foot comes off. I start to elevate, and I use my elbow under his chin.
Oh,
To bring him over. All right? Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Right, I come in and he crossfaces me, right? We're here. I don't want to make the switch to super stomp first, right? I'm staying here, I'm extending and going shoulder crunch first.
Oh.
I want this. Then I'm gonna make my switch.
Oh.
Right? If I try to go super stomp first, then he's just gonna keep smashing my face. So I want to get him extended with my lockdown, and then make the switch, so that now I'm all set up and ready to go. Right? So again, when he's smashing me here, and we're in this spot, right? If I just try to go super stomp, like it's going to be really hard to get, and then it's going to be impossible to get my shoulder crunch. There's no space for my hand. Right? So I use my lockdown to make space. Then I get my shoulder crunch. Now this is a wedge, right? So I can let go and he can't drive his head forward anymore. Make sense? Now I can...
You're not worried about them redoing lockdown, that whole lockdown sequence, like with that momentum? Like, what are you doing to stop that
Oh, them going into
yeah, just
lockdown.
catching it like right before you land and
So, if I'm real concerned about it, right, then when I get here and I go to sweep, spit out.
oh, okay, yeah, I can get it there. Gotcha.
Right?
Is there a way to go twister? Can you turn the other way after you swing?
The momentum has you turning this way, so you would have to go completely counter momentum to go the other way. Yeah. Right?
When you sweep, is this arm that's raised, is it coming down?
Yes.
Driving into his throat?
So, yeah, so the big thing is, the arm that's down is lifting him up, right? So as I go to sweep, this one's coming up, which is what I'm focused on. I'm not really focused on bringing this one down as I am lifting him up with this one, right? I want to leave this one as high as I can because that's keeping his shoulder locked. It's going to have to come down some, you know, but if I can lift without dropping it completely, it's going to keep his arm locked better.
So it should just follow his shoulder then, because as he lifts it, he's gonna go.
Right. All right. Let's try it for a couple more minutes. 3, 2, 1. So we're starting the same way. Right, and I get in here. So this time he knows that if I have my all the way to my elbow under his leg, I control his leg. But if he simply just slides his knee out to my wrist, now I can't lift him. Right? Do you see the subtle difference? Right? Slide it back into my elbow. He slides into my elbow, I can lift it. He slides out to my wrist, I can't lift him anymore. Right? That little difference changes everything. Right? So if he does this, I'm just going to reach under and grab his toes. And I'm looking to go pinky finger to pinky toe. And all I'm going to do is scoop and pull this foot in. And I come to the top of the old stool. Right? Right?
Can you keep the lockdown when you come up, or do you? Is
You
it
can.
better to? Oh, you can.
You can. Yeah, it's depending on how far you're going to go with everything, right? So again, we're here. Lift him. Get in. He slides it out so he kills this. Right? So I'm just going to come under, grab his toes, pull his toes in. See how his hip starts to drop? That's when I come up. I'm not driving into him until his hip starts to drop already. Right? Otherwise, I have to do the work. Right now, I don't have to do any work. I just barely push him and I can come right on top. Right? And then I can pass. Does that make sense?
Where do you think of pulling the foot to? Are you just pulling it, or?
I'm just turning it in. I'm just pulling it through the hole.
Basically pulling it to his butt.
Yeah,
That's what
right?
it
Because
feels
he's like this, so I'm just pulling it this way until his butt drops.
I see you still.
Alright, so we're here. I just reach and I just pull it through.
Okay.
See how his hip starts to go? Now I can come on top.
And you hold his waist to kind of keep control with that other non-pulling.
Okay.
Right? Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Have the space to bring his foot through even after he does that. Right? It's just getting stuck. I can reach down and I can connect my hands and control his hip. I can control this way. I can reach him here. Whatever's going to control this, right? Yeah.
He's got them long arms.
Just reach around and connect. Well, if I go low on your hip, it gives me the space to come around.
Okay.
Right? So I can come around and I can lock this. And then I can do the same thing. And this was called the middle sweep.
That's elementary. Of course it is.
Right? So, yeah, so just to be aware, if you get there and you're like, no, this isn't working, right? Just control the leg and then just push and drive in and come up anyway.
So
Right? And it's a lot like the boa sweep, like I'm taking him to that back angle, right? Because his leg's like this, so I'm pushing him this way to sit him down. Right? I'm not pushing him this way where you're driving into his knee. I want to sit him back this way. Right?
So your arm would go from reading the wristwatch to sliding down.
Yeah, just slide it down, connect it,
Okay.
right? And then I come up anyway.
So you have D on the leg.
Yeah, right? So put me in like that. Right, so if he starts to pull my leg in, he goes for that old school, like, right, and there's not enough space, you just reach around and connect it. Right, and now he just sits me back behind.
Middle school. I like that. That's sick.
Right? So, alright, so, just an FYI. But we're going to deal with one more, and this is when I get to lockdown, you get that annoying person who curls their foot to their butt to not allow you to keep your lockdown. So we're going to do two different options on that. One where we get a sweep and one where we get a submission. So,
Jesus does that well, actually. It's perfect.
yeah, right? He's annoying like that. Right, so I get here and he curls his heel to his butt, right? And you're like, where'd his foot go? Like, oh man, I don't have the control. Right? So all I'm gonna do is slide down to his ankle. And I twist out for the sweep.
If you try to like turn the other way from that, you're ripping your hip apart. All right. Interesting.
So this is the first option.
That's a Nancy Kerrigan right there.
Is that CP kamikaze then?
Yes, that's next.
Hey, Vince, come on.
I'm sorry. I
No,
saw
you're good.
Sorry, my bad.
Right? So I get here, he curls it up. I just slide it to his ankle. Right? I'm just keeping my leg a little bit snug, so when I slide it, it locks right on his ankle. I don't have to see it, right? Don't try to catch it like this, because you'll miss. Right? I just slide it up his leg and catch. And then as I torque this out, see what it does to his hip? And just roll him over. Right? So we're gonna play that down one for a few minutes, and yes, then we're gonna come back and hit a sneaky kamikaze. Right? 3, 2, 1. Right? So I get here, he pulls his foot up. The start is the same way. I slide this up, and now I feed this foot in. Right? So it's all I did different. This one slides up, this one feeds in. Now I curl it back, and I connect. I'm trying to connect my toes to my shin. Right? If they don't tap here, I just sweep them. Right? That's the kamikaze. So, if you really want to finish it and not just sweep, and they're not tapping initially, right? So I go here, I feed it in, they're not tapping, then I just reach through and grab his toes.
I'm gonna tap. I learned my lesson.
Right? Does that make sense? What we're doing different is I slide up to the ankle and I feed my other foot in. And then I curl his leg in for the calf slicer. Right? And if they don't tap there, just reach down and pull the toes.
Is there a certain angle you want? I had a hard time getting that initial leg over once I snug my foot in.
Max, can I use it? Lock down. Well, that's why if I'm doing good and I'm on my side, right, and he pulls his foot up, right? So I should be at an angle where it's real easy to feed that in,
Okay.
right? So I want to make sure I'm on my side. If I'm on my back,
It won't work.
then it's a weird.
Okay.
Straight and try to fight.
Yeah, but when I'm on my side, I can feed this in pretty easily.
Gotcha.
All right. Now,
Yeah. That's crazy. All right.
right? So I was just playing with that foot dexterity of sliding up to make the space, and then my other one feeds in. Right? It's kind of like when you do the Alcatraz escape, and you make that little hole and you feed your other foot back in. We're doing the same thing. I'm making the hole and then feeding my foot in.
Gotcha.
Right? Let's hit it. 3, 2, 1.